This is like a steam train, let alone a RippleFest. Everybody get on board. Choo choo, we're on our way. We are bringing on the amazing Siobhan Riordan, who is very dear to my heart. She has made a global freaking difference. There is so much depth to this lady. And you know, like when you have that little bit of starstruckness thing, right? I'm going to meet Siobhan for the first time next week, and I could not be more excited about it. She's my Shiro, and I'm so delighted that she's going to come and join us tonight to be on this global screen as our grand finale speaker at our August 22 RippleFest Quest. So lovely, Siobhan, come on up and join us. Give it up, guys and girls, for the amazing Siobhan Riordan. Siobhan,
an absolute joy to be with you and to hear Ruth as well, and Dee. And Dee, I think I only got to about 64%. I've got some real gaps, and thank you so much for that. And Ruth, thank you so much for your little exercise as well. Two.
Siobhan, for those that don't know you in the community, because you were very prominent for a long time within the Ripple Makers community, you may well get to sharing why you haven't been so visible in the community recently, but you've made such a massive impact on all the lives that you've touched. You've got so much experience. Please share with those that haven't had a chance to meet you yet who you are and what you love doing.
Thank you. Well, the fame name that you've given me is the Facilitation Mentor. And I specialize in facilitation now because it kind of brings together over 30 years experience of working in academia, working in vocational qualifications, and working out in communities, and especially working with women. I led development of the first postgraduate program in women's leadership in the UK. And I also created the first Bachelor of Arts in Social Enterprise in the world back in 2000. Yes, so I've been running groups and women's leadership circles, sacred circles for women. I spent 10 years training police officers. And I bring all of that experience together in what I call the learning community model. And that's what I am a passionate advocate of. It's a developmental educational experience that will take any group, will enable any group to connect, collaborate, and create together. I'm sharing my the knowledge and the tips and the skills that I've picked up over the decades in very different environments through my courses. And I also run a one-to-one kind of coaching service, Solutions, working from the soul to find the solutions that we want in life.
Absolutely beautiful. Well, I was thrilled to just take part on Siobhan's recent Facilitators Path program. For those of you that I was missing on a Friday every week for 5 weeks, that's where I was with Siobhan. And honestly, if any of you have not been through Siobhan's program and you are building a group or you're growing a community, you need to go on this, because there were things that I mean, I've done a lot of personal development. I've done a lot of training, invested hundreds of thousands in myself over the years. And I would say this course was one of the most valuable things that I did to support me with working from the inside out, because everything else I've done was about the outside in. And this was just a really amazing course, a 5-week program that really enabled me to go inside and look at myself and how I am leading and how I am supporting other people to learn. So your community that you've built yourself and the way that you train other people with their communities, what is like the biggest mistake you see a lot of people making when they're growing their groups?
They think they have to have all the answers. And it's back to that thing of perfection, isn't it, that we were talking about earlier. And the perfectionists, they think that they have to have all the answers. And we have this very patriarchal model of education. You know, you look at the academic world that I was part of for 25 years, you have the all-knowing expert up in their ivory tower, doing 220 PowerPoint slides in a lecture, and, you know, just dumping information. And one of the things that I do is I turn that whole thing on its head, where the student becomes the teacher, and very much working, drawing on the wisdom of the divine feminine. And, you know, that's kind of where I learned a lot of those skills and those tips and that you're talking about that had an impact. And it was very much about drawing on the divine feminine, although I don't use that expression very often, but this is a place where we can kind of talk about that. And yeah, it's an inner journey and an inner path. I spoke for too long then, I'll shut up. You're questioning, so sorry.
No, you're welcome. I mean, the thing is, like, you're so passionate about what you do, and I can see Donna Riley is here. She's like, her programs are a must. We've had ripple makers that have gone through your programs and come out and dramatically transformed the way that they teach, the way that they educate, and the way that they interact with people, and the way, if you're delivering training, and all of us here, I think, are delivering training, it's about delivering that training in a certain way. And I don't want to give your magic ingredient away. They need to come onto your Facilitators Path course to learn that. Siobhan, do you have an activity or something with us that can help us this evening to really harness the power of our groups and communities?
Sammy, yeah, we'll have to do it through the comments.
Okay, fabulous.
So one of the tools I use a lot is the one word evaluation. And let's get some feedback for you, Sammy, here. So in the comments, I'd like you all to sum up in one word what one drop movement means to you.
Oh, wow.
In one word.
Wow. Gosh, I didn't know you were going to do that.
Neither did I. So he's written impact, beautiful word, consistency. Yeah.
Donna, but support. We've got comments that are coming in via Zoom, and we've got comments that are coming in on Facebook.
On Facebook, I know. I just am saying it. I love that word, Cheryl Guidry, hope. Yes, I think One Drop Movement is an amazing place to come and find hope and find collaboration and companionship on your journey, because it can be a really lonely journey running your own business.
Wow, I'm loving these words. Thank you, guys.
So there's just like one simple tool there that we applied in the particular context, the particular situation that we're in, and look at the amount of information it's generating. Sammy, you've got to keep a record of this. Some of these words that I would nab. But yeah, there's just some of the little simple techniques that I teach that you can just draw on when you're completely unprepared, like I was, and you think, oh fuck, what am I meant to do?
And look how gracefully you navigated it. It shows you're a fucking master at this, right? That's why you're my mentor.
Yeah.
There's something else that you spoke about in one of our sessions as well. Obviously, I don't want to go too much into that because they need to go through it to get the real context of it. But you talk about the waterline, and that was really impactful on me. That made a huge impact on me. Would you just elaborate a tiny bit?
No, I won't, because it's one of the, I tell you, no, really, I hope that you, because it's such an important, it's the climax. It's where we kind of come, that moment, isn't it, on the call? And I am a trained psychosexual therapist, by the way, as well. So a lot of my references, we even do the sexual response cycle of development when I'm working, especially with police officers. But that's another side.
That's an interesting topic for another time.
And I don't want to share it with you because it is such an important part of the journey. But you're right, and it is one of the most powerful teachings I've ever had. And I got it in 1992. And I've carried these teachings with me ever since, and the person who gave them to me has died. They're on 6 really badly typed A4 sheets, and that's 30 years that I've been carrying this. But you're right to pick up on that. It is the absolute heart of what I teach in the facilitators part. So hopefully we've tickled.
Yes, tickled your fancy a little bit. Well, look, you're here and we're here. Siobhan, if anybody does want to go through that program with you, which I wholeheartedly recommend, this is like a non-negotiable thing for any of you that are growing a group. Forget sales, forget all those other things, because if you're not looking after the people that you're working with, and if they're not learning in the right way from you, or you might be over teaching, you might be over delivering, you could be under delivering, how would you even know? And that's a big question that a lot of Ripple makers ask me when I'm creating content for courses. How much should I include? What should I include? How should I include that? And your facilitation course actually answers all of those questions. So guys, if you are not booked already onto one of Siobhan's Facilitators Path courses, Siobhan, how can they reach out to you and make that happen?
I do have one coming up in September, I think beginning the 14th of September, and runs for 5 weeks. 5 modules.
On a Friday, isn't it? It's 2.5 hours.
Friday afternoon, UK time, BST time. Yeah. And morning time for the States and Canada.
Well, we had Canada on my group. Yeah. So it's a really lovely group having.
They are, but by doing it online, you make it global, of course, and that's the wonderful thing. So it's learningcommunitiesnetwork.com. Yeah. Really simple.
If someone could type that into the comments for us so that everyone can capture
like Dee and Ruth, I'm in the One Movement group, Facebook group. Just tag me and you'll find me on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. Those are my 2, Dee, just Facebook and just LinkedIn. But I am going to start doing some reels if I can find someone who can film me. I'm into reels.
Very good, very good. Well, make sure you're dressed and I can film some reels when I'm there next week. We'll do that.
Brilliant,
Guys and girls, Siobhan has been through a heck of a health journey herself and knows the importance of making sure that every drop of difference you make is potent, is connected, and is making a freaking difference. It's saying, I was here, and while I was here, I made that ripple of impact. Siobhan, is there anything you want to leave our amazing?
There is, thank you. I just realized what I forgot to say earlier. It's women that tend to be drawn to my courses. I do have men as well, and it's lovely when we have them, but it's predominantly women. And one of the things that, and it's kind of linked back to Dee and very much Ruth, what Ruth was saying, I will help you find your voice. I have banned sorry in all of my workshops. Women begin by apologizing for speaking. And it's such a part of our culture now, we don't even recognize it. And if there's one thing that we need at this moment in history, we need women to start stepping up. And the world will become a better place for it, I've no doubt, and together with men. Yeah. So come find your voice. If you ain't got the confidence, I'll beat it out of you.
Virtually.
Virtually, yeah.
Virtually beat it out of you. And I got some beatings on that. Yeah. But you know what? I think that's the thing is, like, we don't go there for affirmation. We don't go there for you to tell us how lovely we are, and for you to buff our ego. We go there because we want to improve. We want to be the best that we can for our communities and for our groups. And it's one thing to present, but it's another to teach. And when you're teaching, there is definitely a way to do it, and you are the master of it. So Siobhan, thank you for coming and dropping in with us at One Drop Movement for RippleFest today. You've been a big part of my journey and will continue to be. Guys, I hope that you invite Siobhan on your journey as well, as so many of our Ripple makers have done. Siobhan, thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful to be with you all, and to all of my One Drop fellows out there, I embrace you buxomly.
I'm looking forward to a buxom moment next week. Guys and girls, has this been a great session for you? If it has, share your light bulbs. What's your light bulb? What are your learnings? What did you find as a gap? Where was the gap? Where is that gap? What's the one thing you're going to do? You're going to get accountable. What are you doing too much of? How are you really leading your groups as a global family? Because you put one message out, you're a global business. You're not just doing business with the person on your doorstep anymore. You only need to share one post, you're already global. So start thinking of yourself that way.